Sam Schachter with thepurchasegrid.com and the Love Shack, joining Portland's own, the Helio Sequence. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Good. So, how does it feel to be in New York City for the 100th time?
Feels good. It's been kind of like a whirlwind up to this point, because we were just on tour with this British band Keen, and yesterday we played Radio City Music Hall, and that took up the entire day. We had to load in really early in the morning. We were there till really late at night, so we haven't had much time to go out.
You haven't done anything. Honestly, anything. I got a shower this morning, which is
it's the highlight of New York. So
It's refreshing. So about that tour, that's a huge accomplishment for you guys. Has this kind of like brought you many more fans and downloads? And
I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say at this point. Like, we just got done playing all the shows, but looking at it, like if we're playing to a few thousand people a night and a small percentage of them become fans, it's still quite a bit of people.
well, and today, you don't know if there's an impact. You can't just like look at record sales because a lot of times when people are checking out a band, they're downloading a BitTorrent. So you really don't know until you go out, play another tour or something like that to see if it really had any sort of.
And how is playing with a band like Keen? I mean, a major, international superstar.
Well, I mean, it was really interesting playing on such large stages, because these were the biggest venues and the largest stages we've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
So just from that aspect, it was really amazing. And I think you learn something from everybody. It was interesting to see how they deal with an audience that's so big. If you're playing 6,000 people, the way that they interact with somebody is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
than
it
the way
was
you
it
interact
was
with
it was
600.
it was a very pleasant surprise too, because I didn't really know anything about them other than their kind of early singles, and it was kind of shocking how good of musicians they were, and how good of a singer. The lead singer is incredible.
Well, you heard it here. Helio Sequence supports Keen.
Yeah.
So let's talk about touring with this tour. As opposed to other bands who have 3, 5, 10 members, you guys just have each other. How is that? I mean, as opposed to if you tour with other numerous bands, is it better? Is it worse? Like, when you get in arguments, is it like, well, you're fucking wrong. Well, no, you're fucking wrong. You don't have like that extra person to support you.
Yeah, I mean, if there's an argument, you know who's arguing at least, or if there's an intention, at least you know where that lays.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens on tour with anybody, but this is actually the first tour that we toured with another person. We have a front of house engineer along with us, and
Cool.
so the dynamic for this one is even different than anything really relaxed.
I first heard you guys on the compilation that you did for Elliott Smith, which is fantastic. Do you have any cool stories about him? Did you ever get to meet him? Was it kind of just like a sudden throw up in the air that you guys
We never got to meet Elliot. He's really good friends with the people that owned our first label, and we were on the first 2 records, Cavity Surge. So they knew him really well, but we never.
Yeah, but by the time we hooked up with them, he was already down in LA.
Right.
So we had seen him play and Heat Miser and stuff like that way back in the day before he did any solo records. But we were kids then, so it's like not really much of a chance to meet.
And this album has done so well, I mean, compared to your last albums. Not that they were any better or any worse, but how does that success now, transfer over to touring? Like, is it surreal to see more people singing your songs, or like more people talking about your band?
It's really gratifying, and we are really grateful for everything that's happened for us. But I think that we look at it as a really long trajectory, because we've been playing for over 10 years, and it looks like a slow, steady growth to us. Like, each record has grown more than the last before, and that's something to be thankful for alone. And I guess we're always just kind of looking for the next.
Yeah, we've never been that band that just blew up all of a sudden. Even though we've grown. It's not like it was a really huge step. It's still all really gradual. So.
Right.
So, 10 years is a long time. How do you guys keep trucking, keep moving?
Well, I mean, it's always growing, and I think that what we're doing is always changing. Like, not only musically, but the things that we become interested in. We've been building our own home studio, which I guess it used to be a home studio, but more and more it's just a proper studio. And that's been as much of a process and progress as playing in a band itself. So we're just always like, working ahead.
I mean, there's so many. I mean, as a musician, there's so many different things to do. It's like you can keep getting better at playing. You can get better at writing songs. You can get better at thinking about orchestration. You can get better at engineering. You can get better at producing. There's so many different avenues to express, musically, and we've always kind of done a lot of different things, and so it still feels pretty infinite. I feel like we're still just barely tapping into what maybe we potentially could do. So just trying to keep going and try to get better at everything from drumming to writing songs or I'm sure it's guitar playing or whatever it is.
Sure. Thanks guys so much for talking to us. This has been a production of thepurchasebrick.com along with the Love Shack. Stay tuned next whenever, and thanks for watching.